One. We're on. We're live. Hi. My name is Richard Liston. I'm the president and founder of Sphere College Project, and I have with me on my right Audrey Yatras, board member and studio provider, and on my left Harold Ervin, participant in Sphere College Project program. I see there's a viewer. I don't see any comments from anyone other than me. So there may be no one here right now. But they may see it later, because they'll start from the beginning. This is how this works. It's kind of weird. You know? You act like there are people there, and there's nobody there, but later on there are going to be people there. So
you have to trust the process.
I used as our, somebody's here. I used as our artwork, our cover artwork, one of Virginia Stewart's works called Dying Anger. And it's not all on there because they reformat things and cut things off. Well, look, it's Lynn Jackson. Good morning.
Lynn is my friend from Alexandria, Virginia.
Audrey's
Shout
friend
out.
from Alexandria, Virginia. Thank you for being here.
Hi, Lynn.
Who else is here? Connie's gonna be here if she's not here now. So Lynn, right now it's just you and us. Later there will be other people watching. We had discussed, I threw out some topics that are potential topics of discussion for this morning, topics that are related to everything, including reentry from prison, which is the overall topic of this thing, for various reasons. The topics that I had selected, Emily is here. Hey, it's Emily. And so, Emily and Lynn. Topics that we had, that I had thrown out there and it seems like we were interested in discussing were delay of gratification, trust, and prediction of the future. Those are the topics that I had. If any of you wonderful people, and there are going to be more, there's more. Connie's here. Excellent. See, we have a community. Isn't that awesome? I wouldn't be surprised if Virginia and Jonathan were here, but I might, well, maybe one of you can call them or text them. So, where shall we begin? I've been the only one saying anything the whole time. Why don't y'all?
Well, actually, this brings up a point. The women are there in support of people, and it sort of brings up the thought of who comes to visit you? Who came to visit you when you were in prison?
Well,
because it's sort of, and it makes me think of my sister and her husband. She was married to someone in prison, and she visited him for at least 7 to 9 years before he got out. He was in federal prison because he robbed a bank. I think, in terms of whether you're in federal prison or state prison.
Conjugal visits and federal, not on state.
But yeah, I'm not sure about that, but
I'm sure about it.
Yeah, I'm not, but I know that she did visit him for many years. But I know that in terms of support, when you were in prison, I'm sure it made a big difference to you when you had visitors and the fact that you had people that came to visit you because it's lonely there. And
There was one person come to see me the whole time I was in prison.
wait a minute, one person came to visit you?
When I was in prison. She came about once or twice a month. Sometimes every other month she might come once, but she the only one that came.
Out of everyone that you knew? Out of everyone in your family?
Yeah.
Is it because of, why was that, if I can ask?
You have to ask them. I don't know. My mother came before she passed away.
Well, I'm sorry if this is painful. I'm sorry I'm so surprised because you have a large family.
I got 35 nieces and nephews, 100 and something great nieces and nephews. I had 7 sisters, 1 girl.
I mean, was this a sibling?
Mm-mm. My wife.
Juanita.
That's it.
And then you met her from before. You went in.
Mm-mm.
Why you were in?
Mm-hmm. I've never known Juanita while I was free. I met her in prison.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew her till when I got out of prison, started staying with her. That's when I learned Juanita.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. This is my sister met the guy that she visited while he was in prison,
Mm-hmm.
and it was because she had a girlfriend who had a sibling in prison, and she went with her to visit him, and that's how she met the guy that she started dating.
I was coming in off of a pass from prison, and they had a church group singing in the auditorium. Now, I said, "Man, them people can sing." So I went in the church and stood in the back and listened to them sing. And I spotted her up there. I said, "Oh, she's a cute little girl." I thought she was younger than what she is.
Mm-hmm.
After the service, the dude that was preaching walked up to me and said, "Man, my niece," or something, I think he said his niece or his cousin, want me to introduce you to her." I said, "Oh." And he stepped back, and there she was. And she been writing me and coming to see me ever since.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't never know the outside of prison.
Uh-huh. That's interesting.
When I got out of prison and started actually living with her, that's when I learned. That's when she learned me. In visitation, you get 2-hour visits a week. Guess what you do? You put on your best dress, your best cologne, your best attitude, your best for 2 hours of that visit.
Mm-hmm.
So you never know the real person.
Right.
You only know the facade. When you get out and start living with the person, and all that comes off, not only physical but mental. Yeah.
Careful.
I'm just saying.
I know.
That's when you learn the person. And not that you don't like the person, not that you don't love the person, but it's a different person than what was put out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I still love them. You know? Right now. But I know if we'd have dated in a normal relationship, we probably wouldn't have got married. We'd still been friends though. We're good friends.
Well,
Surprising answer.
real stories from prison. Welcome.
Yep. Yep. Still a painful subject to talk about, but you know,
Well, my sister, when she got married, it lasted less than 3 years. I mean, it, didn't last because they didn't really know each other.
Yes.
And
Yep. When you care enough about somebody to let them go, I mean, it hurts, but I'd rather, I don't know. It's another situation I was in, but you care enough to let them go because you don't want to hurt them. Because you see something in the future that might happen or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to take that chance. You'd rather end peacefully, slip away. Hopefully one day could be friends, you know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
You know, I don't want to hurt her. I care too much about her to hurt her, you know? So I'd rather just slip away, let her get over the anger. I know she's angry and the hurt. And maybe one day we could be friends. Instead of going through all that other stuff. I don't want to go through that. I really didn't.
All right, let me see. I'm not sure. I see. Connie says it's good to see Harold. That was before you started talking. Let us know if you can hear us because sometimes that's an issue. I can't find. There it is, live chat.
Ooh, I know one thing. We need to get some donations in to Spirit. Spirit. I'm absolutely depleted. And I'm finna be homeless.
No, you're not. Virginia says your story is significant, Harold, for everyone to recognize what prison life reality is. And they can hear us. They all can hear us. Everybody's kind of quiet.
Well, I'm sorry I brought this down because it's like a depressing subject. It turned, but it's reality. I mean, it's
reality.
You
It's hard to. I've seen all them shows they have on TV about them girls meeting guys, guys meeting girls in prison and stuff. And then they show the reality about them. See, they called me to be on some program twice, no, 3 times. Me and one needed to be on some kind of prison thing.
Prison romance story where it's a happily ever after.
None of them happily ever after. Not unless they knew them or had a dating period before they got married and they really learned the person.
Yeah.
If you just know them from them 2-hour visits a week, you don't know that person. You don't. Because, like I said, she put on her best perfume, makeup. You put on your best prison stuff. You go out there with your best attitude and your best. You don't get the other part.
Right.
When you wake up in the morning, you see this person and how they grumpy or how they ain't grumpy or you don't get that part.
Your case is extreme, but this is true of all relationships.
All relationships, right?
Because what he did is he needed an address, and he found an address in my sister because he needed a place to go when he got out, and he helped. He found an address in my sister, and then the other thing was that it's like he didn't really love her, and then after a period of time, he just ignored her. And they just were like, living in the same house. And
I can relate. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And, she was, she was living with him, but it wasn't like a husband, and he just started, just revolving around her and just ignored her, and it's
If you never know a person and you just met him in prison, do not marry him in prison. Her or him. Do not marry them in prison. Get out first. Do a 6-month dating period or a year dating period, and learn the other side of the person. Then get married.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that would be
So
my
how-
suggestion.
So how are we going to get the word out to people who are in now and going through the same thing?
I don't know.
I mean, to me, it's word of mouth. It's like,
Yeah.
but how's that word going to get? There's letter writing.
I don't know how we could, but I know everybody that's listening, and everybody who's potentially going to listen, got some member of their family that been to prison, going to prison, or know something about prison or something.
yes.
Yeah.
In Building Bridges, the number of people who said, who knows someone either in their family or someone who is dating someone or in a relationship with someone who's in prison, and everyone who was a person of color raised their hand.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone.
It's a shame.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. That's true. And a lot of them relationships crash because they don't know each other. They don't know each other. It's like a setup.
And and the other thing is that, you do believe that if you're in love, it will help you overcome any obstacle, because you do have this. We are definitely, taught to believe that if you are in love, and if the love is strong and the bond is strong enough, and the trust is there, that you can overcome any obstacle, anything. And, it's just like with alcoholism. If you love me, you'll stop drinking.
Mm-hmm.
If you love me, you'll get over drugs. If you love me, you'd stop this. If you love me, you'd stop gambling. Any kind of addiction, if you love me. And
I was finna say there's an exception to every rule, and there is. One of my nephews met a girl in prison and married her, and their relationship is still strong. But they wasn't in a visit. She didn't come to visit him like that. They worked together in prison, and so they was together daily. It's a different situation.
oh, wait a minute. So they got to know each other.
While he was working in prison, she was working for the prison, not directly, but working some aspect, and they met each other while he was an inmate and she was not an inmate.
Oh, okay.
And
So,
she
yes.
was working there at the prison, and so they communicated every day. So there's a difference between, you know what I'm saying? So they still going strong, but they knew each other every day.
Mm-hmm.
So it was an emotional relationship that started. Yes.
So I say it's an exception to every rule.
Yeah. So that's a different kind of
situation. She was going to see him 2 hours on Sundays or Saturdays, and that's it.
Yes. And then they didn't have these long letters where you suddenly believe that you've got this strong bond that will help you know this person that you believe. I got this 9-page letter today, and you feel like they're opening up to you and just you to you, and
And then I'll tell you another aspect of it that I had to. Another reason why. I went to prison. I was 23, and I came out 54. Mentally, I was probably 25, 27, 28.
17.
And for as relationships and getting, because when I went to prison, I didn't own a home, had never owned a home, had never owned a car, had never paid any bills, had never been in a serious relationship, and all that stuff. See, my wife, she done been out in society for all them 30 years. So she's in an advanced stage in relationship type stuff, and I'm still stuck back in mentally because I haven't aged. You know.
You didn't even know Credit Karma.
Credit what?
Credit Karma.
They didn't have cell phones or nothing when I went to prison. So I was at a disadvantage, and she was, I felt like I was a kid to her, and mentally, I I felt like a kid, and sometimes I still do, because I haven't my own classmates that I know went to school with. I don't even associate with them because I haven't aged with them.
Yeah.
It's difficult for me to talk to them. Okay.
And now for some kind of emotional break or something.
I'm emotional.
What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Where's my trombone when I
know.
need it?
I know, because you don't have a credit rating, do you? Yeah.
Ask me to go to class reunions and all that stuff. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't have anything. I don't have anything in common with them. But back in the day, that's all we talked about. Then they started talking about the stuff. What? I don't know. I can't. It's hard.
Yeah. Right. I mean, you can connect over football, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
back in the day,
stuff
football.
that's on television. Well, yeah.
Yeah,
right.
back in the day, football, when we played football together, back in the day when we played back, but
yeah,
having they had their first kid, and
right,
and how they, I can't, my best friends, I only call them my best friend Tommy Sams. And guys, I can't talk to them. I don't know, we didn't. I'm stuck.
The time warp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel it.
Okay, come on, people.
Okay.
Write something.
Mm-hmm.
Write stuff or maybe you did and I haven't seen it yet for some reason.
Well, it's rough.
Virginia shared this on Facebook and asked for donations. I mean, you're still hearing us, right?
Oh, boy.
My sister, when she got married to him, she, I'm focusing, I'm sorry, I'm focusing on this, but it was an interesting wedding because his family came from a certain area of Washington, D.C., which would be considered, the inner city, the ghetto area of Washington, D.C. And then there was my side of the family, which we didn't grow up in the inner city of any city. And so his side of the family was on one side of the hotel reception area, and then there was my side of the family. And then at the time, I was married to a white man. So there was him at the table sitting beside me. And so then his side of the family kept saying, "Why is that white guy there?" And and then there was the box of cash, when you put in envelopes of money and checks for wedding gifts. And that box was stolen at the reception. And it was someone from his side of the family who took it because it was someone, and it was obviously not from my side of the family. And they had hood people there, and the criminal element. Not to point a finger at people, but it's interesting.
I added a couple more topics. I heard you say it's like a setup. I want to talk about that.
Recidivism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
What?
Yeah.
You said it's like a setup. That you're like...
Set up for failure marriages in prison?
Yeah.
It's like a setup.
Among other things. Other setups like, there's the door, here's $45.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
It's like a setup.
Like a setup. It's setting you up to come back. I mean, it's like there's no cushion. There's no safety net. There's no, you know. Man, if it wasn't for you,
Yeah,
and you,
can be a mess.
I'd be on another planet by now, probably. Y'all wouldn't. Oof, y'all wouldn't.
And the other topic I wrote down is class warfare. Can we talk about topics like that openly?
Social class,
warfare, class warfare, like
rich class, poor
like
class.
yeah, like to me, the history of humanity is based in class warfare, all because the population has always been increasing and there's always been fewer resources. There's always been fewer resources. That's been ramped up in recent years. Like, I was born in 1961, there were 3 billion people on the planet, now there's 7.5 or 6 billion people on the planet. Not too long ago, there were 6 billion people on the, and 200 years ago, there were 1 billion people on the planet. So it's just gone like, boom, right?
Mm-hmm.
People everywhere. And people who have a lot of money have had the perception that they're able to have some kind of boundary between them and the rest of the vermin on the planet, right? But that's ended. That ended a good while ago, but in 1945, when we dropped 2 atom bombs on Japan, suddenly we're in a whole new, we're actually all in this together thing. But it's taking us a while to figure out what the ramifications of that are, And then we went through the, 1950s, which is, what? And then the 1960s is, let's try to do something different. And the 1970s is, it's not working. And the 1980s was, it's not gonna work. And the 1990s is, see, we got you. And then the 2000s is, and we're ramping it all up so much that you'll never know. And then now we're at 2020, which is the year of clarity. And it should have become clear now to all the rich people that we are all of this in this together. And you're not all gonna get on the spaceship, and we may not get the spaceship in time.
And Space Force Command might not come to existence.
And we're wasting our energy on it, Elon Musk. Your attention is misdirected. Do you understand that? I don't think you do, because you're like a little boy who's playing with really big toys, and you need to stop and fix what's on planet Earth first before you play with your big toys. That's just the way it is, because you're feeling this. You still travel from place to place and drive in cars, and the more stressed out people are, the more dangerous it is for you. So I would drop a little bit of coin on something new and innovative and different real fast if you want to be able to not have an unenjoyable future. Which brings me to predicting the future.
Does Elon Musk have any children?
Does Elon Musk have any children? Does anybody know? We're getting some comments now.
I mean, it's a good question, I think, because he was having a little temper tantrum on Twitter the other day. He's not happy. He's kind of having a meltdown right now.
I'm ready to have a sit down with Elon Musk and Bill Gates, and we might even let, what's his name in there, Carlos Slim. Who knows who Carlos Slim is? Mexican mega businessman who's got his tentacles in everything, including media and education and technology. All these guys, you got to understand, They got degrees in engineering. He was a civil engineer. He studied mathematics. Bill Gates. You know, he got as far as he needed to get in computers, and now he's up there holding up little picture, like little, I don't know, what are they? Little models of virus bullshit that he doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm sorry, Bill Gates, you're not convincing on your videos. I watch your videos and you sound like you don't know what you're talking about. To me, okay. Yeah, thanks. Now we got some participation. All right, let's see. I can't even read. I need my glasses. Seriously. This is tiny font. I've been listening. Emily, this is Emily. I've been listening so far. One thing that comes to mind is still want to hear about the book.
My book.
I think so. Yeah.
I'm willing to open up and be honest. I probably can't put people's names in, their real names in, but the situations and things I've been through for the past, my whole life story, really. I wouldn't mind if I could get somebody to write it for me as I talk to them about my. I've had a few different offers, but I want them to go through my mentor here before, because I feel like that I can't really trust a lot of people. I've been burned a few times for trying to do stuff on my own, going against what he's telling me to do, and I got burned every time. So next time somebody comes to me, they offer to write a book about my life story or whatever, I'm gonna be open and honest, and I'm gonna give it to you raw, whatever. I ain't gonna cut nothing, hold nothing back, but I can't do no contract writing or signing or nothing. You gotta go through my mentor right here. But I'm willing to do it. I don't know how many people done asked me to do it, but I'm ready to do it. It's gotta get somebody to do it for us.
What I would like to do is get enough money to go to an attorney, get a good attorney, and I'm gonna, they're gonna have to convince me that they know what they're talking about, and and have any contract that comes through. Well, we can generate the contract. I mean, we don't have to wait for somebody to bring a contract. We make a contract, and then we put it out there and say, who's ready to plunk down some money for this? So if anybody wants to and has it, then I would plunk it down now, or the window of opportunity is gone. If you want, you can go out and encourage people to donate to Sphere. It's obvious how. Just look in the comment and in the description of this live stream. It's there. Just copy and paste it and send it to people, and tell them to watch this video all the way through. And we'll get, what we'll get is enough money, because Harold isn't going to type out his book on a computer. That's just not going to happen, right? Harold's going to talk to somebody, and somebody's going to sit there and take it down, right? And we're going to pay them good money because they'll know because Harold likes them and works with them well and trusts them, and they know what they're doing, and they talk, and that's what will happen. But it's got to be in person. Connie actually graciously offered, but the phone isn't going to work.
No.
It's got to be somebody here.
Yeah.
And I have somebody in mind. I have a couple of people in mind. Or we could put it out there on Craigslist and get 20,000 resumes right now. But that would be no. Anyway. There's a lot of comments, so I hope that answered Emily's query about the book. I really wish. Let me go get my
Oh, glasses.
glasses because this font is like 2-point font. My phone.
Now. Oh.
Anything else you want to add?
Well, man, I could fill a book up, maybe two. With
Yeah,
stuff
I think that you'll remember, so you've got time. So.
Audrey can ask the questions.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And somebody else can just sit there and take it down. Maybe we could Connie can do that remotely. Just listen in, or we could record them.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
send them off. There's always all kind of ways to do this. All right. Connie, Harold, can you tell us how your wrist is doing and what you went through with that?
Well, I can see that. I can't see that. It's looking better now.
You can take it up to the camera if you
yeah,
want.
no, they don't need to see that close up. No.
It's doing a lot better now. It's itching now. It's healing. That's it.
Yeah.
It's itching. It's not hurting anymore. It's itching.
Is that going to keep going?
No.
Okay. Virginia, prison thwarts your growth. How do we support Harold in developing life skills? Well, I'd say we're in the process. To me, what Harold needs is stability. So he doesn't have to worry about whether we're going to be paying for his rent next month, which we're going to do. It's just, it's going to happen. So, it'd be nice if we had some money in our account so you could go on Facebook every day saying, have you done your donation to Sphere yet? Everybody who is on Facebook on a regular basis should be saying, or even on an irregular basis, should be saying, have you done your donation to Sphere yet? I can't. I don't have the time. I don't have the energy. That was Virginia, and Emily adds, or support Harold in any way. Can you think of any other ways
What?
that you would get supported or feel supported?
Well, I like what really helps me a lot. I mean, finances is top priority. It seems like today. I didn't really realize it because I have never owned a house and never paid any bills and nothing. I was a kid when I got locked up. But anyway, what really helps me a lot is them ears right there. Them ears, somebody just listen when I'm going through something. You know what I'm saying? Somebody just checking in, just say, hey, how you doing? And like Richard has gotten me to say, don't just say I'm all right, and I ain't. Tell the truth. Just talk. He done got me to talk and say, hey, how you doing? I'm doing okay, and you ain't okay. It's just a figure of speech you're saying. And then I tell him, Richard, I love you, man. He said, is that a figure of speech? I said, nah. That's one of our family traditions. When you care about somebody, you tell them you love them because you might not have to talk to them no more. It might be the last conversation you have with them. So you always say in the conversation with, I love you. Don't never say goodbye. When you hang up the phone, say, see you later, I love you. Don't say bye. I'll never do that. Because it might be the last conversation you have with them. I mean, you don't want to leave them with that. And so just somebody just to listen, just conversate with, just like Emily, I'm waiting on her CD. I like listening to her music, and it's hard for me to talk with, socialize with people. I'm kind of a hermit type person. It's because of, I don't know what it's because of, but I'm not into socializing too much. Richard done offered to take me to a few places, and I kind of worm my way out of it. Don't like crowds, I guess because it's part of being institutionalized. I guess One of my little brothers told me, said, man, it took him 5 years to get it out of his system. And another friend of mine told me it took him almost 10 years. But he had done 35 years. It took him almost 10 years to get the prison stuff out of his system. You know. Like, it's still stuff I do that I done when I was in prison. I catch myself, I said, man. But, you know, I have to keep on going, man. Keep on going. I've done been in situations. All right, I'll leave that alone.
No, go ahead. Say what you were going to say.
Feel like going back. Really. That's a shame.
Well, how old are you?
Be 55 August.
55.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I feel like they want to go back to prison. That's crazy.
Because the one thing that I can relate it to is living at home with my parents. And when I was working and living at home with my parents, they provided me with a roof over my head and meals. And I lived there when I was working for a long time because I didn't want to move out on my own, because it was a place to live and I lived rent-free and it was comfort, and you know, it was, and I wasn't ready to live in an apartment on my own and go in and make the commitment of signing a lease, and I wasn't ready to find an apartment and sign a lease and pick an apartment and live in a city and, you know, just make the step of moving out of my parents' home. And that was when I was maybe 23 or 24 or whatever. But I just know that I wasn't ready. And people were my age were doing that, but it was just, I wasn't ready. And, you know, I can't, you know, it's an adjustment, and it's, you know, you can't beat yourself up for the fact that even though you're 50, whatever, you know, it's your years were spent, you know, institutionalized.
Making 40 cents, 70 cents, or $1 a day. $1 a day, you was rich. Like $1 a day, that's $7 a week. You was rich. You had enough to eat some snacks out of the store box, a sandwich and soup or soda or something for about 2-3 days. You lived good for $7 a week, and that was it. You didn't have to pay you didn't have to worry about no bills. All the bills, all the decisions were made for you. It tell you when to eat, when to sleep, when to get up, when to go to work, what to do at work, how you do it. And when you get off, everything was told what to do.
You know what? Let me just interrupt. Every time we get on, we've been here before, and it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind repeating this. But every time we get into talking about this, I keep thinking all you really want is an intentional community, a group of people, each of whom has the responsibilities of handling different aspects of the community. You know,
Mm-hmm.
in prison it's industrialized, but it can be done on a much smaller scale of from 10 to 50 people. And you may or may not be aware of this, but there are intentional communities all over these areas. Are you aware of that?
Mm-mm.
they all have different sets of rules and different ways that you join and whatever, but there may very well be one that would welcome you with open arms. I don't know. That's a direction we haven't, it just occurred to me. I've been talking about creating an intentional community because that's what I think we need to do. I think we need to acquire those 68 acres plus a farmhouse that is available there for $450,000. It costs $450,000 for just a
What
house in Asheville.
$450,000 for how much?
For 68 acres plus a farmhouse.
That's kind of cheap, right?
To me, To me, yeah, it's cheap, but a lot of people are needing money now and they're unloading, like they've inherited, 2,000 acres from in their family who has been in the Western North Carolina for 10 generations. Well, not 10. Maybe 10. And I don't know. Maybe not. But anyway.
That's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot.
10 generations. I'd have to think about that.
Yeah, that's
Four.
That involves
five,
some Jesuses.
5. Well,
Multiple
no, 10,
Jesuses.
no, let's think about it. No, it's only 10 generations.
Some arcs.
It's like 25 for that's 250. No, it's 250. We're only back in we're only back
Noah's
in
and arcs.
1750 now. We were here, well established.
Some of your
Messing
people.
everything up.
Some of the Pocahontases.
Messing everything up. So, where was it? I don't know what I was talking
I know
about.
we have
Generations.
I know generations.
Oh,
Community.
people have inherited these, and they find themselves in position of needing some money, so
we
they're
could go to your
unloading.
plantation on your farm.
South Carolina.
We could go to your
South
land.
Carolina.
I have been planning that for quite some time. Maybe now, but I got this. There's so many comments that we haven't gotten to, people. We gotta go.
Maybe I'll type a comment.
Now I've been begging for all these comments, and now there's I'm not reading them. So, oh my God, this goes way back that people are commenting on that we haven't gotten to. So.
I'm gonna get my
And Virginia
glasses.
agrees. That's right, Emily. How think about just if you can be in contact with Harold and listen and indicate to him that you have some clue what he's talking about. I'm sure that would be a great
I like
help.
to talk to Emily. I like to talk to Virginia. I like to talk to her in person.
Yeah.
On the phone or one-on-one, just to.
Yeah.
So
tell me to give Harold your information. Emily says, I'm interested in class warfare. What does the warfare part mean? It means, as I look at our global society, that we are engaged in, and we are a very conflict-oriented and aggressive, world society. And it goes all the way down to debate teams in high schools. You know what that is? That's who's the best liar. That's do you know how that works? Debate team? Yeah. They give both sides what they're going to argue and their position. They tell the people, here's the position you're going to argue, whether you believe it or not.
Yeah, because sometimes the position is ridiculous.
Oh.
Yeah.
And so,
And they have to go
argue.
out and they argue, and the best ones are going to get scholarships to law school at Chapel Hill, where they're going to go and become even better liars.
And they argue. Wait a minute now. Let me get this straight. They tell you that you like the smell of onions, and tell you like the smell of this. And you don't even like the smell of onions, but you got to debate and win this debate that you like the smell of onions.
Yes. More particularly, it's more like health care for all. Mm-hmm. Should everyone be entitled to health care just because they're alive? You think yes. You think no. Okay, go fight when we're going to judge you. Oh, this team won. Oh, you get a scholarship to UNC Chapel Hill or Duke. I'm so...
Well, if you're a lawyer and you're defending someone who's innocent.
We've barely even started. I got to get through these. And I'm the one who was commenting on this, but it was Emily. Okay. Let's see.
That one you want to
This
read.
goes way back. Oh my God, this goes so far back.
I wonder if
Let me see.
My
Virginia.
wife.
Sorry, what?
I wanted my wife on it this time.
Maybe.
She was on last. Was it
Yeah.
last week? She was
Yeah.
on.
Last week. Virginia says, in the class warfare thing, I've come to that conclusion too. It's like they are just waiting to nab you because there are things you don't know. Right. They know how to program people's minds. Virginia continues, it's more a barrier. And she says, Mr. Musk, please donate to the links below. A much better investment. Thank you, Virginia. And I would encourage people on wherever to do that. Connie says, looks like Elon has 6 kids.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Connie says, what are your predictions for the future, Richard? I'm going to drop this pen and it's going to fall on this table.
God, you're bright. Brilliant.
That's one of them. I'll get to the others later. Jonathan, it could be Virginia. It's a struggle between the people aware of what's happening and those that know but can't bring themselves to admit it, is my thought. People are aware of what's happening and those that know but can't bring themselves to admit it. That's from Jonathan, probably Virginia, but maybe, I don't know. Emily says, I may not be able to do everything, but I would be willing to help with the book. She says, I think it helps to sometimes break down the needs for finances into clear parts so that people know what they're helping. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll write it down and
Well, right now I need.
live stream it. Well, yeah. I mean, $750 for Harold's rent for next month, $750 for a down payment for it, $250 for a down payment to the power company to turn the electric on, $100 to get the water turned on. Gonna have to be some. Do you have your food stamp? Okay, so you got that. That's a call I'm gonna ignore. And gas money, various things. Just basic. Another $1,000 for basic necessities. I didn't add that up. Somebody can go back through the video and add it up for us. Lynn Jackson says, is that because you feel judged by other people, Harold? I wish I knew exactly what that was related to, but it's been a long time ago. Do you feel judged by other people? Let's just answer that question.
Yes.
You want to say more about that?
Well, as soon as I talk to somebody, about where I come from, they immediately face expression changes. Or if I go in looking for a job, yeah, I like to apply for a job. They look at me at first and they, hey, how you doing? And I say, well, I'd like to apply for a job. Sure, we got plenty of openings. You like a good film. I said, well, I just got out of prison. I said, huh? I said, yeah, I just got out of prison. Well, everybody making money. I said, I just done 30 years. Oh, I'll be right back. Let me go talk. you know, I don't know if it's being judged or not, but it's an advantage to hire a person in prison, but you know, people still judge you, even in the churches. I don't want to get too far in that, but yeah, I feel judged a lot.
Mm-hmm.
When you open and honest with people and tell them where you're from and what you can't do that. People are not as accepting as you think they is. People put on a smile,
Mm-hmm.
but they really they give you a list of paper when you get out of prison. All these organizations supposed to help you.
Because there are companies that say that they will hire ex-felons.
Mm-hmm. They will. A person that's got done 2 or 3 years, or done 6 months, or something like this, and you got a stealing charge that stole somebody's stuff, or even the ones that done sex crimes, they hire them. Something, misdemeanor this and misdemeanor, look, yeah, it will. You say you convicted from a murder and I've been 30 years. Oh no, man. That ain't gonna help you.
So it depends.
It depends on the crime.
Mm-hmm.
So if they know the details, then they suddenly change.
Right. Even though the return rate for convicted murderers that's done 20 years or better is like they never come back.
Wow.
But they won't hire or give us a chance.
Yeah.
Most of us end up suicide or just going back to prison, voluntarily going back to prison, or something like that, or get on mental health. I've been offered to get on mental health a couple of times, and they would accept me, and the government could pay, these taxpayers could pay for me to be living on government assistance, mental health. I won't accept it, because I'm not mental health. I just need support.
So when you say mental health, you mean to get on disability for
Disability
something?
for mental health, if you done 10, 20 years or better in prison, I could get a check right now. But I got to say I'm crazy.
Right. And take a bunch of pharma.
And take a bunch of pills or something.
Right.
Right now, I can be approved like this. Right now, because I've done 30 years in prison.
Opioid epidemic. This is the solution. He's not doing it.
That's what they want me to do.
Right. Okay. I got it. I'm gonna get to these comments. Emily, with/are more likely to give because of it. I think that's about the breaking down finances into clear parts, so that people know what they're helping with and are more likely to give because of it. For example, maybe we could start a campaign to gather specific donations for Harold's next 3 months of rent.
Thank you.
Beautiful. So
Thank you.
I understand.
can we call that $3,000?
Mm,
You know, 1,000. So with utilities and whatever, just the rent alone, $3,000. Okay, so we're trying to raise $3,000 for Harold 3 months of rent. That would be great. People can have the option to donate a full or half month. So let's call the rent $800 because that's pretty much what it is for baseline where we want Harold to be living. $800. So people can donate a full month of, well, $800 plus $200 for utilities, $1,000, or $500 for a half month. 2 people can team up to donate a full month. Brilliant. And Connie is asking, can you say more about that, Emily? What do you mean full and half month? And so Connie says, I see now for rent. And Emily, because there's a delay, clarifies and says, like whatever a full month of rent is, a person could donate a month of rent for Harold. Or if they can't do that, then they can find a buddy to each donate half the amount together. That's great. Or 4 people can give a quarter month of rent together as a team. Harold's June team. 250 each.
That's all right.
And Jonathan, possibly Virginia. A much more, and so this is back to talking about intentional communities, a much more customized community. A house alone up in PA can cost that much, $450,000. Yeah, so in Asheville too, but in PA, just a regular, house can cost. So, and we got 68 acres plus a farmhouse that probably needs work for $450,000, sitting right there, ready for us to snap it up and grade it and put electric and septic, and then we got places for 10 people to begin a community, and we can grow as needed. Philip, hey man, thanks for joining. Philip is on. Land they took from the Indians. That's back when we're talking 10 generations, right?
Oh, that's true.
May they want to give back. Okay.
Yeah.
May they want to give back.
Yeah.
I'm going to start calling people out. My family members.
Uh-oh. Oh,
Should I be calling out my family members?
No.
May I please beg? I beg you. My family members who have benefited from generations of work by slaves. Don't you remember when we saw that at like Easter and Christmas, and we got them to pull out the documents, and it said, 4 slaves, $18.
Is
2
it
sheep,
still live?
$20. What?
Is it still live?
What? This?
The video.
Yeah. That my cousin Raleigh, who is a principal in a school in South Carolina, Raleigh Liston. Google him and see what lists he might appear on that are interesting in South Carolina.
Raleigh?
Get that out. Rallie.
What time is it?
Raleigh Liston. It's time to keep going.
It is an interesting first
Philip
name.
Liston, who is on the board of the hospital in Greenville. I think he's the chair.
You're kidding.
He's the chair of the board of the hospital in Greenville, South Carolina. I have connections.
Oh my God. That's a big
My
one.
sister Lynn, I don't know. She's not likely. I'm getting calls from a person that I'm going to answer later when
I need to make a call.
we're done. Harold needs to step
Let me step up, take a call. Excuse me, y'all.
somewhere. I'm going to keep reading these comments because there are still many. No, take take that, and put that on the computer and then walk through and then put it back. Perfect. Thank you. I'm going to go back here to the comments. So, how much money do you need for your monthly expenses, Harold? Connie asked, and I answered for $1,000 a month. Hey, Harold, we can hear you over here. Can you go outside or something? Thanks. It's cold outside. Virginia, I had to balance the mental health issue as well. I was able to get disability without pills, but I stood my ground. So we'll have to talk to Harold about the fact that that is a possibility. What?
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll look into that. I'll talk to Harold about it. Emily, I got to head out, but I love you all and would love to talk to Harold, help with the book, and help with fundraising and give some donation. Thank you, Emily, who is probably gone now. Yeah. Are there any more comments? If there are, I don't see them here. I'm going to try one more time. I don't see comments, so I'm going to thank you all for being here. This has been great, I think, and so we're going to end and help us get donations, and thank you. So we'll
Thank you.
see you next week, I hope. Bye for now.